Thank you, Shaban. The team's on their way out in the Tarsinski Arena in Wrocław. Wales wearing all gold for the first match of a defining week in Welsh football history, led out by Chris Gunter. A big crowd inside this stadium, which holds around 45,000, and close to that inside the ground here tonight. Poland in their famous red and white. Of course, they've already got World Cup qualification taken care of by the playoffs, but Wales still have it all to do on Sunday against either Scotland or Ukraine. And before the match gets underway, we will pause for the national anthems. Well, great noise from the Polish supporters inside the stadium as well. A reminder of the two teams for this game. It's effectively a shadow team for Wales, with the game coming up, the World Cup decider on Sunday. Danny Ward in goal, the back three of Chris Gunter, Chris Mepham and Rhys Norrington-Davies. Across midfield, Dylan Levitt, Joe Morrell, Matty Smith, Wes Burns, who makes his debut, and Johnny Williams, with Daniel James and Kiefer Moore in attack. A much stronger Poland team relative to the strength of their squad. There is a debut in goal for Kamil Grabara, and no Matty Cash or Wojciech Szczesny in the matchday squad today, but a number of big names are returning, including Gregor Krychowiak and Matthias Klich in midfield. It is Grabara in goal, Berezinski, Glick, Bednarek and Puchaz the back four. Klich, Krychowiak and Goralski are in midfield, with Zielinski in behind Lewandowski and Buxa. And Dean Saunders, Robert Lewandowski, has as many international goals as you had caps. Even at the veteran stage of his career, he is such a threat.
Absolute legend, and could play in any league in the world. Probably one of, if not the best goal scorer in the world right now. They've got their hands full. The back three tonight, you know, when you think about it, Chris Gunter, Mepham, Norrington-Davies, they've got to somehow watch him closely and try and think before he thinks to get on the end of crosses. And then you look in midfield, we've got three young lads in there tonight, so sometimes a bit of enthusiasm and a bit of legs, they can cancel the opposition out. But make no mistake, we're playing against a good Polish team tonight, and we need everything to go for us to get a result.
And a big night for Wes Burns. He's been around the squad before and not been able to make his debut. Had a very good season for Ipswich, 12 goals and 6 assists in League One, but this is a big step up. But why not? Because you will find a lot about him here tonight.
Yeah, well, he's obviously got an instinct to get into gaps and get on the end of crosses, and he's obviously got a striker on him, which will get him into goal-scoring positions. And sometimes, you know, they find they get more time in an international than you do in a hustle-bustle of the English league. So they're up against three good players in there for Poland tonight. They have to have a look at the two strikers, and the two of them are really good. You know, not only Lewandowski, but Buxa, he looks like he's on his way to Lens. He's scored 5 goals in 7 games. A handful, the pair of them. But main thing is no injuries.
That is the main priority for this Welsh team as they take the knee before kick-off. And on a warm, sunny evening in Wrocław in southwestern Poland, the Nations League for 2022 is about to get underway. Wales have been promoted to the elite level, League A, but they're in a tough group with Belgium, the Netherlands and Poland. And of course, with 4 games coming up in quick succession either side of the World Cup decider on Sunday, what happens at the Cardiff City Stadium at the weekend could have a real impact on the other 4 games in the Nations League. But it's Poland wearing all red who get the game underway as Kiefer Moore closes down Kamil Grabara, the Copenhagen goalkeeper, making his debut, but is well known to the coach, Czesław Wisniewicz, who was coach of the under-21s before taking on the job at the senior level with the national team. Poland looking to build on this near side, but Wes Burns does well to rob Glick and plays it long and high up to the halfway line. And leaping with Glick is Kiefer Moore, and Glick wins the header, and it will be a throw-in for Wales on this near side. And we've seen Wales play a different way this season, Dean, without Kiefer Moore in the team, but they do have the option of being a bit more direct here tonight.
Yeah, and it looks like they're playing a back four. From what I can see from the start of the game, it looks like maybe a back four and a diamond in midfield, with Johnny Williams at the top of the diamond. We thought he might play, on the left-hand side at left wing-back, but he's playing at the top of the diamond. So that should give him an advantage in the middle of the pitch.
And Norrington-Davies playing on the left of the back four as Levitt at the heart of midfield plays it wide towards Gunter, who was on the right. As Wales look to build now with Levitt, and he had an option moving further forward from him down the right, but it's a high ball in, looking for Kiefer Moore, who wins the header at the far post, but he was off balance, and it loops high up off the top of his head and behind for a goal kick. But with 2 minutes played, it's 0-0, and Wales have made a positive start.
Yeah, and it looks like, the tactics from the manager, which are good for Kiefer Moore, wherever you are on the pitch, diagonal balls into the box, just get it in there. He's 6'4", 6'5". He's a handful if he gets the right service.
And Wales coming into this game on a 9-match unbeaten run. The last game they were defeated in was the round of 16 game in the Euros in Amsterdam against Denmark nearly a year ago. 4 wins and 5 draws since then. And they got through some fairly difficult games towards the end of the World Cup qualification, drawing away to the Czech Republic and at home to Belgium. But this their first away game for some time after 4 successive games at the Cardiff City Stadium. As Lewandowski has it for Poland, a cross in there was blocked by Morel, loops high into the air, Williams almost wins it back, and now he does win it back, and he's got James making the run down the left, but it's quickly cut out on this near side and cleared long downfield for Poland by Berezinski, but out of play, and Wales will have a throw-in. And Wales have a team drawn from all 4 English divisions, from the Premier League to League 2 this evening, with Johnny Williams playing at the attacking tip of that diamond. And then he's now lost out to Goralski. The back heel from Lewandowski will find Buxa, and Buxa goes down looking for a free kick, crumbling under the challenge of Gunter, but Poland are keen to play on, headed away towards Klich now at the far post, a cross back in and the header is wide, and it really should have hit the target. Poland so close to the opening goal. Zielinski arriving late inside the penalty area, and had that been a couple of inches inside that near post, Danny Ward would have had no chance.
And Zielinski there doing what he does best, sneaking into the box from his number 10 role, and it's poor defending from Wales. They've got 7 defenders in there. You've got to attack the ball. They've all just dropped back into the 6-yard box. He really should score, and he's headed it wide.
A long ball aimed forward towards Kiefer Moore again, a player who scored 4 in 4 at the end of the championship season after coming back from a broken foot, which looks set to rule him out for the entirety of the end of the championship season and also this international break. But the big names will be back on Sunday, and the big man may have to be content with a place on the bench, but we'll wait and see, because of course things can change over this 90 minutes as Poland try and come forward again now with Zielinski, the Napoli midfielder, into Lewandowski, now Goralski wide towards the far side. Krokowiak is also looking to pull the strings at the heart of midfield, but it's further wide towards Puchaz, but it's quickly cut out, and a break is made forward by Gunter down the right, and Smith in the end is closed down by Puchaz, and it will be a throw-in for Poland on the far side. And a big crowd now inside this stadium, which holds around 45,000, I would imagine closer to 30,000 here tonight, as Lewandowski pulls a ball down effortlessly on the halfway line, finds Buxa, but Wales quickly get players around the ball, and Norrington Davis, who had a good run of games for Sheffield United this season, tries to bring the ball away, then eventually goes back to Mepham. Morel just dropping in as the defensive midfielder at the base of the diamond, but the ball is over his head, and it's gathered by Bednarek once again for Poland. 5 minutes played on TalkSport 2, the opening match in the Nations League. Of course, things have been shuffled round in Wales's group due to that game coming up on Sunday, and Goralski tries to break on this near side, but he's quickly closed down, runs it out of play, and it will be a goal kick.
Yeah, I think, Nigel, sometimes managers from the kick-off, they've slotted into a 4-diamond midfield and, to try and get a good 5-minute start, but now they seem to have slotted into a back 5 again, with the wing-backs of Burns and Smith, 3 in midfield, and then they've got Morel and Levitt sitting in front of the back 3, Johnny Williams as the number 10, behind Dan James and Kiefer Moore. They seem to have slotted into that shape now.
And James was looking to break on this near side, but player's been pulled back. Kiefer Moore has been penalised for an aerial duel with Krakowiak. And Kiefer Moore has the first of what could be a number of conversations with our Slovenian referee Rada Obrenovic.
You know, he has been criticised in the past, Kiefer Moore, for giving too many fouls away and using his body, but because the rules have changed. 10 years ago, he would have been alright. He wouldn't have got pulled up once, but every time you lean on a defender now or put your arms above shoulder height, it's a foul.
James now looking to break for Wales on this near side, the left, but he's quickly closed down by Berezinski, but Wales have a throw-in, and it's back to Wes Burns. A good ball in field to Levitt, now wide towards James again. He can attack the penalty area. The crossing though was headed away by Glick, only as far as Levitt tries to poke it into the penalty area, and it finds Dan James again. He was onside. High crossing looking for Kiefer Moore, headed away, and now Lewandowski is back to clear, and with the help of Goralski it's high up to the halfway line looking for Buxa, but he's closed down by Mepham, and Wales quickly win it back again with Morel. 7 minutes played, 0-0 in Wrocław. As we watch on from TalkSport Towers in London, the opening match in the Nations League on TalkSport 2, as Burns plays it square to Levitt. Burns was taken down, but Levitt lets fly, and it's straight at Grabowska in the end, who makes the save.
Great play from Burns. You know, he's played at left wing back, he's drove in field with the ball, slipped it across Levitt, one touch, brilliant strike. You know what, he hit it too well. Sometimes there you just need a little bit of a bobble or slice. He's hit that so well, he's hit the keeper, nearly knocked his chest off.
Gathered by Kamil Grabara. But Wales showing already that even with a team lacking so many big names, there is attacking intent here, and there's a flip side to keeping players fit and ready for Sunday. Players here can hold their hands up, maybe not for Sunday, but certainly for the games coming up against Belgium and the Netherlands.
Yeah, you know, what if Levitt scores hat-trick tonight? He's got a problem then, Robert Page. I mean, that's what you want as a manager. Cause me a problem. Make me pick you next week.
8 minutes played, 0-0. Holden with a high ball forward again, and Click making a break from midfield is in behind Norrington Davis, but the pullback doesn't find Lewandowski. But it's quickly gathered by Puchaz on the far side. Now Lewandowski in the sunshine again, coming in field. Low shot from him is blocked by Mepham, and it spins behind for the game's first corner.
Yeah, obviously when you play that shape with three centre-backs, the weakness is down the sides of the two outside centre-backs, and Poland have got down there 3 or 4 times already, and they're cutting balls back from the byline. They've got top technique coming into the box. The defenders have to pick them up as they're coming in. You can't just sink back onto the 6-yard line. So they've got a corner. Let's see how we organise this.
Zielinski will take it. And it's an in-swinger towards the near post, headed away by Moore and fired back in by Click, and it's high over the crossbar, a half volley from the edge of the area.
Yeah, you know what, that's another thing that Robert Page can get out of tonight. All you players who haven't been playing and haven't been involved, this is how we're going to set up for corners against, this is how we're going to set up for corners for, throw-ins, long throws. So when you come on as sub on Sunday and you run on the pitch, you know exactly what to do. You're not the one that lets us down because you weren't listening. Because sometimes they don't listen when they're not involved.
Dean Saunders, who played for Wales against Poland 30 years ago in a goalless draw.
I was only 6.
I think you were heading towards the end of your career even then, weren't you?
So, no, do you know, it was a strange game. Completely different to this stadium. The stadium we played at, I can't remember what the name of the ground was, but there was all soldiers there. The whole stadium were just soldiers in uniforms, and we drew 0-0, and it was the strangest atmosphere ever. You just looking round, it just looked so different. And actually Poland was in a bit of a mess at the time. You know, I think they had a bit of upheaval there, and now it's like, I don't know if you've been there lately, it's a magnificent place.
Well, it's a magnificent stadium here. It was built for the Euros a decade ago, and there is a crowd full of families here for this early evening kick-off. 6 o'clock local time.
It's not a sellout though, Nige.
Not a sellout, but they've got a number of games coming up in a short space of time. Of course, Belgium and the Netherlands are the other side involved in this group. We'll have commentary on Wales' trip to Rotterdam coming up on the 14th of June, a week on Tuesday. And before that, they have matches against both Belgium and the Netherlands in Cardiff following the World Cup qualifying. Poland beat Sweden to ensure they'll be in Qatar next year. And they already know that they have a decent group: Mexico, Saudi Arabia and Argentina. So every game for them now is focused on the World Cup. But of course, the Nations League does have some value, competitive football, and I think from Wales's point of view, having worked so hard to get to the top level, they need to work very hard now to stay there.
Yeah, and my last impression of the game that we had in Cardiff was that we have got so many players with great legs in the team, athletes who can get box to box, that we can match teams for 90 minutes fitness-wise.
And if they can win on Sunday, and of course it's a big if, then they would have real momentum going into 3 games in quick succession. Now James, inside the penalty area, on the left, and he's onside. A chance to attack Puchaz, comes in field, then checks back. A high ball to the far post over the head of Kiefer Moore, but Smith is able to bring it down, and he's done well. Low cross into the penalty area, sliced high into the air by Glick and claimed eventually by Gravara, but Wales with a threat there on both sides.
Yeah, Smith has got a cross in, and Dan James has got 3 or 4 crosses in. I just watched Kiefer Moore, and if I could coach him for half an hour, I would say to him, I'm watching you in the box. You've got to find the ball. The ball can't find you all the time. You've got your movement in the box. You've got to work really hard, not stand still, get out of the defender's eye line, make another run if it doesn't come in. If Dan James checks back on his right foot, make another run, and then eventually you find the ball.
Cleared long downfield by Danny Ward, who did have some first-team action with Leicester in the Premier League towards the end of the season. Would have had more but for an injury, and it will be interesting to see who plays on Sunday. Of course, Wayne Hennessy was involved in the match against Austria because Ward was injured, then brought up a century of caps in the draw against the Czech Republic, and is he now the player in possession?
Well, it looks that way. Danny Ward's done nothing wrong. He had a great Euros, and Wayne's gone in, took his chance. Both good goalkeepers. I've worked with both of them. Both good talkers. Both really good on the ball. Can kick it miles. So tough decision for Robert, but that's why he's a manager, and he gets paid for doing that.
And potentially, Hennessy, of course, has been the backup goalkeeper at Burnley. If Nick Pope moves on, we could get more game time there in the Championship next season, but of course we will have to wait and see. 14 minutes played, 0-0, but a good game so far, and Wales are playing their part. Morrington Davis moving forward now down the left, wide to Burns. Burns quickly plays it infield to Moore, who has come deep, and he's got support from Levitt, tries to drive it wide to Smith, but it's quickly cut out. Poland try and work it forward, but it's headed away by Mepham. And now Wales have it back again with James on this near side. Burns, who is wearing the Gareth Bale top knot, finding Johnny Williams, who isn't. And now Mepham again. And Chris Gunter, who finds himself at a crossroads in his career, having been released by Charlton, and he'll be hoping that some good form in these games could maybe persuade someone to pick him up next season. Gareth Bale isn't the only player looking for a new club in this Welsh squad. Smith had a good season for MK Dons when he made his move from Manchester City permanent. Morel. And now Gunter again, and Wales here beginning to knock the ball around. Moore coming short to get involved, and Mepham, who will be playing in the Premier League next season, flights it wide to this near side, looking for Burns, headed away by Puchaz, but it's quickly picked up by Morel again, who had such a fine Euros for Wales, with so little football behind him. Levitt in towards James, popping up on the right, but his first touch just betrays him, and it's cleared away by Glick, but Wales quickly play it back again, and at the moment, with 16 minutes played, it's 0-0, and Poland are finding it very difficult to create.
Yes, they are. I just think our biggest danger is when we go forward. the two strikers are world class. Number 10's world class. So when we go forward, there's gaps for them to exploit the speed of thought. And I'm just looking at Levitt and Morel in midfield. For me, they're playing too close together when we get the ball, and they're not pivoting properly. One of them should show for the ball deep, the other one should run forward and then come back, and the game plan should be to get the ball to Johnny Williams.
Now Zielinski, he's always at the heart of the Polish game plan. Wide towards Goralski, and Krakowiak with the ponytail, who is currently with AEK Athens after very quickly moving away from Krasnodar at the start of the Ukrainian conflict. Great pace now by Dan James, going beyond 2 or 3 players and finding Kiefer Moore on the edge of the penalty area. Moore comes inside, right foot shot is blocked by Glick, and it spins high behind. And Kiefer Moore there possibly not making the most of the opportunity.
No, I mean, it looked like corner to me, but it's obviously come off Kiefer. Dan James breaks through the middle like you see him do. He's running at the heart of their defence. Kiefer Moore pulls to his left, and he slowed his run down, so the defender was still goal side of him. What he should have done is nearly get offside, so that his first touch was away from the defender, in towards the goalkeeper. Then he might have had a side foot finish, but he's a big centre forward. I don't expect him to be able to move like Gareth Bale.
Now Lewandowski, who can do pretty much anything. He's currently at the base of the Polish midfield, and he plays a crossfield ball to find Puchas. Guided back to Glick. I'm not sure he wanted the ball there, with Kiefer Moore bearing down on him, but he's found Glick. Glick back in field again towards Bednarek, and Wales here are pressing very high all over the field, and Poland are having to take too many touches to try and find a way out. So as a result, it is back to Grabara, the goalkeeper, once again, and these are very good signs.
Yeah, this is good. This is good because looking at it, this is the way we're going to play on Sunday, and they all know what they're doing. Sometimes you play in a back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it. Players are like, where should I be? Where should the wing backs I think you were? But Smith is closing down right on the edge of their box, playing right wing back.
And now Buxa has rather bought the free kick, just enticing Norrington Davis into a challenge from behind. Berezinski finding Zielinski, twisting and turning, and now wide towards Berezinski again. Click down the right with a cross in, headed away at the near post, and eventually cleared downfield by Morel. Lovely touch in field from Kiefer Moore, and now Dan James again looking to sprint down the centre. Bednarek will make the challenge, and that's really good defending from the Southampton central defender, because Dan James was in there, and a missed-time challenge could have had real problems for Poland.
He is so quick. I mean, Kiefer Moore, what was I saying about big centre forward? He just back heels it in field to Dan James. He goes past one defender as if he's not there. He's running straight down the middle of the pitch, and he goes for the long touch to outpace the defender, who scrambled and got a toe poke on it, but he is so dangerous on the break.
Now Burns, wearing number 9 on his Wales debut, finding Morel, lofted high to the right, and Smith. He's got support from Levitt. Levitt comes in field again, arms outstretched, looking for options, goes back to Gunter, who is halfway inside the Poland half, and now Smith will release Gunter. His low ball into the penalty area, though, will be cleared by Bednarek, and Chris Gunter is still up there. And now Poland may just find Wales lacking shape as they try and break themselves over the halfway line. Lewandowski rides 2 challengers, and Wales here are exposed. Norrington Davis looking to catch out the boxer, and the shot in the end is delivered by Lewandowski, and it's turned aside by Danny Ward, and that's the danger for Wales. They all poured forward. Lewandowski carried the fight almost on his own, and it's a desperate save from Danny Ward to keep Wales on terms.
There was no danger, and both our centre midfield players, Levitt and Morel, were on the right touchline, on our right, on the halfway line, totally out of shape. We had no midfield. The ball got played inside, ends up with Lewandowski. How it's not going down there, I don't know. He comes inside.
Zielinski with the corner, headed away by Moore at the near post, flicked further clear by Williams. James was then pulled back by Puchas. This could be a yellow card for the right back, because he was aware of what Dan James was about to do, but it's just a warning.
It's a yellow card. That has got to be a yellow card. Dan James is off and running. Arm round his shoulder. You know, Puskás there has got away with the yellow card. But Lewandowski cut inside Norrington Davis, and Danny Ward goes down low to his left. It's a side foot finish in the bottom corner, and it just bobbles as Danny's on his way down, and it's his wrist or his hand. He's got away with it. It's a great save.
But that's the danger for Wales. World-class players up against them. Lewandowski used his pre-match press conference here to say he was finished with Bayern Munich, which will alert those in Barcelona that he's very keen to move, and he's got 1 year left on his deal, and it will be interesting to see what Bayern Munich do.
Yeah, when once one goes, merry-go-round starts. You'll see Lukaku going one way and Lewandowski going another way, and then they'll have Aubameyang's going to have to leave Barcelona, so it'll be the start of the time the first one goes.
Now Burns does well to break things up on this near side. He's made a very impressive start to international football. The midpoint of the first half here on TalkSport 2, 0-0. The finalissima is coming up on TalkSport later on this evening. Italy against Argentina. Live from Wembley with Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Tony Cascarino. There'll also be news from Hampden Park of Scotland against Ukraine in the playoff semi-final. Of course, the winners play Wales on Sunday.
Nigel, if I was Robert Page now, you try and, as a manager, you try and sort things out before they happen. Poland on the attack.
Here is Puskás again. Wide on the left-hand side. And Gunter slightly exposed. It's back towards Lewandowski, who is picking up pockets of space all around the Wales penalty area. Now Krakowiak and Goralski with the shaven head will charge forward, and the cross in looking for Buksa, headed away though by Norrington Davis, who was pushed by the player who's made such a good start to international football, and it will be a free kick for Wales. But Poland here beginning to turn up the pressure. But here is Burns coming forward down the left, a high crossfield ball from one wing back to the other to find Matty Smith. And now Levitt. Morel was just looking to make the break forward, but it's into Johnny Williams instead. Back to Norrington Davis. Wales now maybe just being a bit more conservative to try and regroup after a couple of really good opportunities for Poland in the game. 24 minutes played. 0-0 it remains. Meppen finding Morel. And now Smith down the right again. Dan James almost playing as a number 10 there, just behind Kiefer Moore. He now retreats, looking for the ball midway inside the Poland half. He receives it, spins away to the right, and finds the fair-haired Matty Smith. The cross in, looking for Kiefer Moore, headed away by Bednarek, and Wales will have a throw-in on the far side as a Mexican wave begins to sweep around the stadium in Wrocław, which is a good sign from the Welsh point of view, because they've managed to get themselves back on top again.
Yeah, the crowd are bored. Polish fans, bored stiff.
Here is Moore now, inside the penalty area, squeezes the ball back, and it's cleared behind by Glick, and this time it will be a corner.
Yeah, a couple of things before they take the corner. If I was Robert Page, I'd say, if we give more than 10 fouls away in our half, Lewandowski will score from a free kick. He'll get on the end of something, so don't give fouls away.
Corner's played short. Wes Burns with the volley, and it's deflected wide, and that was goal bound from Wes Burns, and it was a desperate Polish touch to send it spinning behind for a corner.
Well, he's so unlucky. I mean, it's a short corner, pinged to the edge of the box. Remember Paul Scholes scoring one like this for Man United against Bradford from the corner. He's got a technique volley where his technique's brilliant. He's dropped his left shoulder, volley. It's hit a defender. It's going in.
Kamil Glick again, and he celebrates Glick, not for the first time, as if he scored a goal, because he knows that was a goal-saving touch. Levitt will take the corner for Wales, down the left. 26 minutes played, 0-0. The Wales are giving as good as they've got so far. Williams comes short, but Levitt may think about playing the ball into the area. I think there's a VAR check here for a potential penalty, and the referee eventually allows play to continue. VAR is being used, the corner's played short, Levitt sends it into the area, and it's cleared away. Now it's gathered by Smith. Smith hooks it back over the top. James will try and bring it down, but he's challenged by Zielinski. Poland will clear, and now they will try and break with Krakowiak, and there was a long delay there because there is VAR being used for this game. There was nothing on our monitor to suggest anything was happening, but they could have been looking at a potential handball against Kamil Glik as Keeper Moore bowls over Krakowiak and Poland have a free kick.
Yeah, keeper stopped giving fouls away. That's 3, I think. I was saying about the free kicks. Lewandowski's 6'4", gets on the end of things, gets on the end of crosses. If you give fouls away in your own half, he will score.
Buxa now making a break down the left. A low crossing is blocked by Mepham, and the flag has been raised for offside against Adam Buxa, and it will be a free kick. A player who has scored 11 in 13 for the New England Revolution in MLS so far this season, and it seems he is on his way to French football with Lens, heading to Ligue 1 next season, but they're still looking for someone to replace Lewandowski eventually. But at the age of 33 he remains far and away the number one choice for Poland, leading their line with 75 goals in 129 games, which is incredible.
That's not bad. Even more concern for me, I don't think Morel and Levitt are right in the middle of the pitch. If they should never come out the centre of the pitch, those 2 midfield players. They've got 2 world-class strikers, and if you get pulled out the middle of the pitch, the ball's going into Lewandowski's feet, we're in trouble, like now.
It's been given away by Wales, and there's a break over the halfway line by Buxa, but Morel comes back to make the challenge. It seemed on first viewing he'd won the ball, but the referee disagrees, and it's a booking for Joe Morel.
Well, I think he got the ball, he's lunging, but he's only lunging because he's got wrong side of the ball out of position in the first place. Morel and Levitt, there's an example. They're empty in the middle of the pitch. They should never get out wide. They should never be too high up the pitch. They're there to protect the back three. They're young lads. They've got not a lot of experience between them. And if I was Robert Page, I'd consider dropping Dan James into the top of the diamond, moving Johnny Williams back so we had another player in the middle of the pitch.
And we have a shot on our monitor of the Welsh team not involved in this game, watching on from one of the corporate boxes. Aaron Ramsey, Gareth Bale, Ruben Colwill, Ben Davis and Joe Allen amongst them. I thought Colwill might have played today.
Well, yeah, it's a chance for him to show what he can do, but I would imagine playing Kiefer Moore and Dan James is a reason for that. He's trying to sharpen them up for what matters on Sunday. Colwell's got the future to look forward to.
Yeah, player of course who came into the squad for the Euros very late after very few games for Cardiff. Ollie Denneman is in a similar situation in this squad, the young central defender. I saw him make his full debut at Anfield in the FA Cup on TalkSport earlier this season, and he showed up very well. Now Zielinski looking to take on Levitt, and you're pointing at the screen, various parts of the screen, Dean. What's your concern?
Just that hole, the number 10 spot in front of their 2 strikers. The 2 midfield players are emptying it.
Well, Poland have given the ball away, and here is James coming forward now, drives the shot towards the near post, and it's just wide, and he had support from Johnny Williams inside.
If you're a Leeds fan and you're watching this, you probably see it quite a lot. Dan James breaking, looking like he's about to score, and it doesn't happen. And there, he's a bit unlucky again. He's on the left-hand side. He's broke away, outpacing people again. He looks as if he's going to open his body up and bend it in the far corner, and he's tried to give the goalkeeper the eyes and drag it in the near post. And unfortunately, he's dragged it too far. It's gone past the post, but he's so dangerous.
Wales with 6 attempts on goal so far in the opening half hour here on TalkSport 2. Poland with 4. And Burns again looking to break, and he was challenged heavily by Goralski, but the ball spins back to those in gold shirts, but Williams unable to keep the ball in play. And we've seen one real glimpse of Lewandowski so far with that break down the left and a shot which was turned aside superbly by Danny Ward. And at the moment Wales are just hanging on when he has the ball, and I suppose they'll be grateful he's not seen too much of it.
You know, there again, ball's going into Lewandowski's feet. Surely we got to stand someone right in front of him and make him pass it somewhere else, but the ball does not go into his feet. There it is again.
Zielinski finding Lewandowski, who spins away from the challenge of Levitt. Wide towards Puchka, but the crossing this time is blocked at the near post by Smith. And it will be a throw-in for Poland with 32 minutes played here on TalkSport 2. Don't forget, TalkSport tonight, 7 o'clock. Our build-up begins from Wembley, the finalissima between Italy and Argentina, with Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Tony Cascarino. Also news of Scotland against Ukraine. And in terms of football commentaries coming up across the network, England's games away to Hungary and Germany will be live on TalkSport next Tuesday. Now Kiefer Moore breaks into the penalty area. Lovely run from him beyond the initial challenge of Glick, and he's helped up by Bednarek, and Wales have a throw-in on the far side.
Well, that's the Kiefer Moore Cardiff City under Mick McCarthy running down the channels.
The crossing from Smith is blocked by Goralski, who's able to bring the ball down. Tries to play the ball off Smith and win a goal kick, but it doesn't work. Now Williams inside the area on the stretch, just unable to gather, and it's through towards Kvabala. 32 minutes played, 0-0. Just to mark your card on TalkSport. Saturday, they're all England away to Hungary. Tuesday, away to Germany. And then at home to Italy a week on Saturday. All those games live on TalkSport. Here on TalkSport 2. Big day coming up a week on Tuesday, the 14th, 5 o'clock on TalkSport 2. Armenia against Scotland, followed by Netherlands against Wales with Dean and myself. England against Hungary, live from Wembley, will be on TalkSport. But at the moment, it's a very good exercise for Wales. It's a competitive game, and they are not being overawed by, on paper at least, a much stronger Polish team.
As a Welsh fan yourself, Nige, who would you prefer to play? Ukraine or Scotland?
It's a very difficult one. Of course, Wales have history with Scotland, not good history for all sorts of reasons. So, do you want to face more history against Scotland or Ukraine, of course, as we discovered with Denmark in the Euros, when a team gets on an emotional journey for very different reasons, but they have a cause, and if it is Ukraine, they will arrive in Cardiff with the whole world on their side. So either way, I don't think it is an easy choice, as we welcome listeners from TalkSport to our coverage here on TalkSport 2, where it's Poland 0, Wales 0. And Wales have had a decent start to this game, Dean Saunders, but one good chance for Lewandowski.
Yeah, Lewandowski looks dangerous, as we know. 75 goals for his country, so he's gonna. We can't give fouls away. We've got stop crosses coming in the box if we can, but we've looked really dangerous on the break. Dan James especially, as we've seen from him in the last couple of years, with pace. Kiefer Moore looks fit and dangerous. Things are going all right. This is a tough game.
Wes Burns on his debut has also made a good start as Johnny Williams steps in to clear the ball away. Morel's clearance only finds Goralski. Low shot from him is just wide, but the Polish opportunities have really come from Welsh errors so far. Coverage continues on TalkSport 2, 35 minutes played. It is Poland 0, Wales 0.
Yeah, they've got two good strikers, and Zielinski playing in a hole who's worth a lot of money, and he is a good player already, but he's going to be even better. So it's vital that Levitt and Morel, the two centre midfield players, it is vital you do not get pulled out the middle of the pitch. Let the ball go across the front of you. They've got to play together, they've got to pivot. One closes the ball down, the other one stops the ball into the strikers, and they've got to move together. But for me, they're just not working properly, and a bit naive, getting pulled out on the touchlines. The ball ends up at Lewandowski's feet, 35 yards from goals. You know what normally happens when he gets it there.
And we can say that Poland have got players from Napoli and Bayern Munich, and we're talking about Levitt and Morel, who play for Dundee United on loan and Portsmouth in League One. But It's an easy out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because it's a one-off game, and all these players can pass and control the ball. Technically, they're all good, and you can all play one good game. What they couldn't do is if you put them in the Premier League and ask them to get a 7 out of 10 all week, every week, they couldn't do it. But playing for Wales in a one-off game, they can do a job.
And Morel, of course, is managing a yellow card at the moment. Coming up in this group, which is Group A4, Wales play the Netherlands next Wednesday at home, then Belgium on the 11th of June, and then a trip to Rotterdam, to De Kuip, to face the Netherlands, live here on TalkSport 2, 7:45 on the 14th of June. And they finish in September, away to Belgium, and at home to Poland in that international break squeezed in before the World Cup at the end of September. Now, great challenge from Norrington Davis on the ground here, and he was being fouled by Berezinski as he tried to get up. Click was also involved, and Wales have a free kick, and Norrington Davis has been a real plus point for Wales so far in the first half.
Yeah, and you know, I played in this football myself, and I was a striker and a goal scorer, and I used to pray off defenders switching off. And normally, all the defenders at international level, they can deal what's in front of them, they can go and confront it, but some of them switch off, especially the lower teams. So our three centre-backs, they're defending really well at the moment, and Lewandowski is waiting for one of them to just switch off ball watching, give a bad pass into midfield, he'll be on it, he'll pounce on it.
Not down from Buxa, only finds Levitt, who quickly switches it wide to the right-hand side, and it's back to Gunter again. Now Mepham. Poland just standing off when Wales have the ball in that area. Norrington Davis forward towards James, whose first touch was just a bit heavy, but he's strong enough to ride the challenge of Buxa. And here is Mepham again. Now Gunter playing for Wales for the 108th occasion here tonight, and a good ball down the line for Kiefer Moore, who's able to turn himself round. And there's a slip from Bednarek, and Wales have possession now with Williams on the edge of the penalty area. Interchange between James and Williams, but it just breaks down, and Buxa will try and bring it clear, and he's gone down very easily on a couple of occasions there. Norrington Davis maybe just getting too tight, and Rob Page heads out towards the edge of the technical area, head in hands, because we've already seen if you get tight to Buxa, he will go down.
Yeah, he is going down easy, but players have cottoned on to the new rules. The new, it's more or less non-contact football now. They've got their way. So if you go near a player, strikers know, especially strikers and wingers, they know if you lean on them, they're going over. The ref's going to give a free kick. It's not nice to watch.
Now Puchaz with a cross into the penalty area, looking for Buxa at the near post, and he's unable to get the telling touch, anything there. And it would have been 1-0 to Poland, but the ball evades him and everybody else as it goes through the 6-yard area. But here is Zielinski down the right, low into the area, cut out initially by Morel, but it falls for Krakowiak with a shot on the turn. Now Click back towards Goralski. Lewandowski 25 yards out, scoop forward looking for Click, clever ball, but the ball did not quite sit down for Click, who would have been clean through, and it just spun it back into his path. It's gathered by Ward, but once again a warning for Wales.
He should have scored, Buxa. I mean, it's a good cross near post. The only excuse I can make for him, he's running that fast to get across the near post. The ball's right in the middle of his feet, and he couldn't sort his feet out, and he missed it.
Now Smith down the right-hand side, short to James on the edge of the penalty area for Wales. James looking to go beyond the challenge of Click. A ball into the area, scrambled away a couple of yards out by Bednarek. The clearance only finds Burns, swung in but headed away by Krakowiak again inside the area. Now Levitt wide towards Smith again. James checks his run to stay onside. Smith with a high cross beyond everybody. That's a disappointment, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, poor delivery there from Smith. He's hit a couple of good ones in, but that's a low ball in that corridor of uncertainty, we call it. As Ron Atkinson would say, it's a goal ball. It looks like it's going to end up in the back of your net. And Buxa has obviously took his eye off the ball. It's bounced over his foot. He's completely missed it, but it's a tap-in.
He was goal side of Norrington Davis, and Danny Ward would not have got there with any sort of touch.
If it had been Lewandowski, it would have been
1-0, yeah. Wales have not beaten Poland since the qualification for the World Cup in 1973. Of course, Poland eventually famously knocked out England and Wales, but they lost in Cardiff by 2-0. Leighton James and Trevor Hockey were on the score sheet. Wales's only win in 8 meetings, they've lost 5 of those, and they were beaten in the return in Katowice. And it was a very good Poland team that went on to finish third at the World Cup. Godoka, Lato and Domarski, names which went on to haunt Alf Ramsey at Wembley, all scored. And since then, Poland have had the better of Wales, a couple of wins in Cardiff. Nathan Blake on the score sheet in a defeat for the qualification for 2002, and goals from Earnshaw and Hartson weren't enough to avoid a 3-2 loss at the Millennium for 2006. And the most recent meeting was during one of John Toshak's warm weather training camps in Portugal back in 2009. Hennessy, Gunter, Bale and Ramsey all played, of course. Bale and Ramsey were very young then. A 1-0 loss, and the crowd was 487, which was still more than the number who watched Wales's infamous match against Northern Ireland in Dublin back in 2012 in the short-lived Nations Cup. Here in the Nations League, different competition, and far more people here today, but it's 0-0 with 2.5 minutes to play in the first half, but it's been a very good game.
It's funny you should mention them games. You know the game I was on about that I played in at Warsaw?
Yes.
Just happened to be in the house the other day, and I went through a bin liner that I gave my dad shirts, and I found the Poland shirt.
Must have been from that game.
Yeah,
I think it's the only time you played them.
I thought to myself, Steve Hodge got
£7 million yeah,
for Maradona's shirt. I wonder if Poland had anybody famous wearing that shirt. I doubt it.
It wasn't a great period for them or Wales. Whose shirt was it? I suppose you don't know. There were no names then, were there?
No, I'm going to check. This is like, it might be a 7 million goal mine.
I doubt it. Yeah, I think there's Maradona, there's Pele, I'm not even sure a Messi shirt would get £7 million these days because there are probably so many of them.
I'm not selling it anyway.
No. I'm pretty sure no one got £7 million for your shirt. Here is Berezinski. Back towards Click again, down the right-hand side. Wales just need to hold firm here and get into half-time on level terms. Goralski, and we focus so much on the game on Sunday, but this is a competitive game, and Wales would love to take something from this to give them some momentum to try and stay in this group, and having worked so hard to get here when they were very good in the previous Nations League, winning 5 and drawing 1 of their 6 games, despite scoring only 7 goals. Now Puchaz with a high cross in. Click was waiting, nodded away though by Norrington Davis. Berezinski, the other fullback, fighting Zielinski, just checks back onto his right foot, then back onto the left, maybe thought about the curler, but Levitt stuck with him. Right towards Puchaz again, the early cross in, headed away, but it falls to Click with a shot. Brilliant block by Norrington Davis. Drakoviak, an even better block there from Morel, and Wales escape again.
Yeah, we've got to work hard to stop crosses coming in. That was too easy. The ball coming in the box, sprint and get out. You know, Johnny Williams was guilty there of not sprinting. Crosses coming in the box. We've got lethal strikers. But you have to say, this team's been put together. We've done brilliant. Imagine just putting the team together to go and play for Poland.
And now, Keeper Moore, was he caught? Not according to the referee. It did seem to be a foul as the ball was loose inside the Poland half. There'll be a minute of added time. And we start with Lewandowski playing it wide towards Click, pulled back towards the edge of the penalty area. Lewandowski once again has time on the ball, 30 yards out. Now Goralski to the left. Zielinski takes over. Levitt has got much closer to him there. Puchaz. And now Goralski back towards the left back. The cross in, headed away by Mepham at the near post in front of the Wales fans who have travelled here in really good numbers to Wrocław for this game. Of course, they were denied, so many of them, a journey in the Euros due to COVID and the length of the journey to Baku, but plenty here, and I'm sure there'll be even more in Rotterdam for the game. We'll have live for you on TalkSport 2 on the 14th. And that's half-time. Really good half of football for Wales, considering the team picked by Robert Page and the quality up against them. Wales have had their opportunities. Dan James going close. Robert Lewandowski bringing an excellent save from Danny Ward. But at half-time, it is Poland 0, Wales 0. Thank you, Shaban. And we know that Wayne Hennessy will be coming on for the second half. So, Dean, that's intriguing because we don't really know whether it means he will start on Sunday or Danny Ward's been taken off because he's the number one.
No, I mean, if I was Wayne Hennessy, I'd be thinking the only thing I can do is play myself out the team or play myself in the team by making a few saves. I think Robert Page will know who he's going to play. He'll have it in his head. And, you know, I've played with goalkeepers who were top class, and the number 2 was also top class but couldn't get a game. And if they don't play goalkeepers for a couple of months, they lose the reflexes, they lose the sharpness, and the ball's past them before they dive. So he's trying to give him a game and trying to give him a match sharpness.
And there will be 3 changes for Wales because Mark Harris and Rabi Matondo are coming on. Matondo is replacing James, so Dean Saunders has got his wish there to see Dan James wrapped up in cotton wool for Sunday. Matondo has been on loan in Belgian football from Schalke Althea, and Mark Harris comes on for Kiefer Moore. So Wales changing their forward line and their goalkeeper at half-time. Wayne Hennessy coming on to win cap number 101. So the Wales team will be Hennessy in goal, Gunter, Mepham and Norrington Davis the back 3, Smith and Burns in the wide areas, Levitt and Morrell the deeper lying midfield players, with Williams in the number 10 position behind Harris and Matondo. And we are yet to see any changes from Poland at the start of the second half, but I'm sure we will see plenty. They had a 37-man squad named for this game, and so many of them, including Matty Cash and Wojciech Szczesny, are not even involved on the bench here tonight. As the second half gets underway, Wales wearing all gold, defending the goal away to our left-hand side, Poland in all red, and I don't know, maybe it is Kiefer Moore alongside Dan James on Sunday, and if that's the case, who do you leave out?
Well, you might need Kiefer Moore. He's a different option. You know, when things aren't going well, you can't play through a team, you get crosses in but there's no one on the end of them. You can bring Kiefer Moore on as a different sort of threat. I don't know whether he'll start, but I think Robert Page has done the right thing. We've obviously weakened the team by taking them 2 off, but it's a good opportunity for Matondo, and I'm going to write down this comment I'm going to make. I'm going to write it down. I think Mark Harris will get goals at this level in the next 5 to 6 years. I think he'll be nicking goals and winning us games.
Well, this is 5th cap, yet to score for Wales. Only scored 4 times for Cardiff last season, but didn't have a huge amount of time as a starter. But younger players are now being introduced into the Cardiff team. We've seen Oliver Denham, of course, play recently, Ruben Colwell as well. There was a trend for a number of years, began by Neil Warnock, to pick seasoned players, and of course they had a degree of success with Mick McCarthy there as well. But Steve Morrison at Cardiff is finally going to the academy, and as a result Wales are reaping the benefit.
Yeah, and like Mark Harris, for me, he's a goal scorer. He gets goals. He just needs like a run of games. And I also think there's some players who actually do get goals at international level. Not necessarily prolific for the clubs, but they do turn up and always seem to nick a goal for the country. And I think he could be one of them. We need someone, definitely, because when you look round, have we got a goal scorer playing at the highest level? No.
And he replaces Gareth Bale, but it could be Brennan Johnson, of course, in the long term.
He steps up as well. He looks a prospect. He's lightning quick. But we're not short of legs all over the pitch. We've got really good athletes.
2 minutes played in the second half. Matondo, who has never quite established himself in German football with Schalke, playing for Cercle Bruges in Belgium this season, did okay there. We played 2.5 minutes in the second half. 0-0 it remains in Wrocław. 200 miles from Warsaw in the southwest of Poland. One of the main cities in the Silesia region, which was the coalfields back in the day when Poland were really good in the 1970s. Matondo turning down the right-hand side, breaks into the penalty area. He's gone beyond everybody, and the shot low to the near post is blocked by the legs of Grabara. And they did not enjoy the pace there of Ravi Matondo one little bit.
What a goal that would have been, right from the back. I mean, that was a planned move. Right side centre-back gets the ball, plays it into midfield, Levitt round the corner. Matondo comes short, gets the ball, winger runs in behind, he gets the byline, squares it across the face. It's a defender's calf. Otherwise, I think Mark Harris might have tapped it in.
It's a throw-in for Wales, and they're attacking towards the end, which has the red wall behind it in the second half, although most people are wearing red inside this stadium. A back heel from Levitt in field, doesn't quite find Harris, and Poland will clear again. They go to Belgium in their next game in the Nations League, so they'll be keen to win this one. On paper at least, it does seem that these sides may be fighting for third behind the Netherlands and Belgium, but you never know, because international players have been playing virtually non-stop for 2 years at various levels due to the pandemic, and there could be some tiredness and some strange results during this break for the Nations League. 4 rounds of games, which is a heavy workload at the end of the season, as the Polish coach Wisniewicz is currently taking notes and possibly looking for changes as Buxa cuts out a crossfield ball, but Wales win it back. Now Levitt wide to the far side. Burns, who's had an excellent game so far, with a lofted ball, looking for the run of Smith, and Smith will go all the way back. Lewandowski was expressing an interest in that, but Mepham will go all the way back towards Wayne Hennessy.
Their coach can't be happy with what he's watching, and he doesn't look happy. I mean, a lot of the players are pointing at each other and having a go at each other. You know, they're playing against a B team really, and not really making any inroads.
Krakowiak just holding off Williams, who stands there, arms outstretched. Now it's forward towards Buxa, who almost flicks the ball on with a header on the ground as he tangled with Norrington Davis. No free kick given this time. Wales clear on the far side, but Burns momentarily is out of position as the throw-in is taken quickly, and it's quickly forward now towards Buxa inside the area. Berezinski making the break in field from full-back, and Wales were fortunate the ball was deflected through to Buxa and eventually gathered by Hennessy.
Once again, young Levitt is getting pulled out the middle of the pitch, and you cannot let the ball go in to the middle of our goal 30 yards out. There's too many side foot passes going into their strikers.
Smith, and now a ball down the line for Harris, who cuts in field from the right, and Harris continues. The shot is blocked by Glick, and there's that characteristic fist pump from the veteran central defender as he makes another challenge, and Poland will bring the ball away. Now it's wide towards Lewandowski, and he's quickly challenged by Matondo. A lovely play by Morel to sway away from one challenge of Matondo, who breaks in field now beyond a couple of rather tired challenges. He's eventually brought to ground by Bednarek, but here is Smith back towards Matondo again, and now Williams takes over. Right foot shot from him. Oh, what a brilliant goal! Johnny Williams gives Wales the lead, and the player from League Two has stunned aside, full of world-class talent. Williams striking that from way outside the penalty area, and it's the Wales fans who are delighted in Wrocław. A much-changed team lead by a goal to nil. A real shock. It is Poland 0, Wales 1.
He won't score a better goal than that. I mean, there you go. From the Polish point of view, passive defending, not closing the ball down. But Tondo gets the ball into Johnny Williams. He's got no right to score from where he was. He's about 25 yards out, right side of the goal, and he hits across the ball, and it's a bit of a cutting dip as it bobbled as he hit it, and it just bounces in front of the keeper and goes in the far post side netting. I mean, it's a wonderful goal. And as he said there, Nige, League 2, Johnny Williams has stepped up to the plate, got his chance. What a goal. He's smiling his head off. He can't believe it himself.
Only his second international goal. We were on the air when he scored his first away in Bulgaria in the Nations League. That was a winner. And the Wales fans here absolutely jubilant. I think they travelled here to enjoy the trip, and they would see what happened with a much changed team. Now, early in the second half, Wales have something to hold on to.
Yeah, and Click, punch in the air when he's blocked a couple of shots. Where were you then? He stood back in his own edge of the box, not closing the ball down. You know, normally he likes that Click. He likes going up blocking shots. He never moved.
But Matondo, again, his role in that goal was superb.
Yeah, he's running with the ball. And, you know, you get players like Matondo who come on, impact subs who run with the ball, something different. Johnny Williams used to be like that when he was younger. He'd pick the ball up in his own half and dribble past a few people. And Matondo's had an impact since he's come on, and he's made that goal.
And we say he's a League 2 player. Of course, he's just completed a season with Swindon. Johnny Williams losing out in the playoffs. Made more appearances this season than he's ever managed before, which is a good sign. But having seen him play in the playoffs for Swindon against Port Vale, he's one, possibly two divisions below that level. The level he should be, rather.
Yeah, he's had a lot of injuries, a lot of bad injuries that have affected his career. I like his attitude. Number one,
he wants to play.
Spot on attitude. He wants to play. He turns up every time he's picked. And I think when he finishes playing football, all the clubs he played for, he'll be welcomed back everywhere, because fans never forget if you try your best. If you're lazy, they never forget.
54 minutes played, Poland 0, Wales 1 on TalkSport 2. It's a scoreline which very few people anticipated, with so many second string players in this team. Now Lewandowski shoves over the challenge on this near side of Smith, and Lewandowski is complaining to the Slovenian referee. And Matty Smith, another player stepping up from League One, who's had a superb game so far. The two wing-backs, Burns and Smith, have given Wales an extra dimension. It would have been very easy to sit back and be the back five and invite pressure, and they've not done that.
Yeah, and the two of them consider themselves to play so well. It's 54 minutes gone yet. There's a lot of time to go. I mean, not trying to be negative, but we scored too early.
Yes. But Wales do have the lead, and the onus will be on Poland to try and respond. Lewandowski heads in field. Norrington Davis.
They need a wake-up. This might wake Poland up. A goal against.
55 minutes played, and they're coming forward now on the far side with Berezinski, the Sampdoria fullback, on towards Click. And Burns is there to make the challenge. Click, though, looking to wriggle away from him, and the crossing is blocked by Burns, and Poland will have a corner. And we saw some fallibility at set pieces for Wales during the Euros, and now is the time for them to really step up again, having worked so hard to take the lead in this match.
Yeah, you've got to have some men in the middle of the goal now who actually look at the ball, pick the flight up, don't be wrestling with people, pick the flight of the ball, attack it. If it comes in your area, you have to get the first touch on that ball.
Zielinski will take the corner. High towards the near post. Lewandowski was waiting, but it's headed up in the air. Norrington Davis now looking to challenge Lewandowski, and the shot from Goralski into the crowd spins into the path of Smith, who was able to turn and clear. And now Morel picks up a loose ball, quickly forward in field towards Harris, laid back to the goal scorer Williams. Morel again with a ball down the line, right hand side, and Harris will get there before Berezinski. Has support from Matondo, but he turns onto the outside, then checks back, waits for the midfield reinforcements. Levitt and then Williams back towards Harris again. A low ball into the penalty area, looking for Matondo, and it's claimed on the edge of the 6-yard area by Grabara, but it's good stuff from Wales once again, and it's no surprise to see movement on the Polish bench.
Matondo's got a score. It's a tap in for him if he's on his toes and he's anticipating. We've had a little bit of play out wide. Mark Harris has wrapped his foot around the ball. Matondo's on his heels.
Now Zielinski forward towards Lewandowski, onside, and he's put it wide. What a chance. He's flagged offside in the end, but Lewandowski was not to know that. Strided clear, strode clear, one-on-one, he was clearly offside, but in that sort of situation he usually hits the target.
Yeah, he's not a very good finisher.
Don't tempt fate.
He's a yard offside, and he's carried on, and he's dragged it wide with his right foot. Normally they end up in the side netting, don't they?
A reminder of the Polish team again before they make changes. Grabara in goal, Berezinski, Glick, Bednarek and Puchaz for back four, Klich, Krakowiak and Goralski in midfield, Lewandowski and Butzer supported by Zielinski. And I think there could be as many as 3 changes here made by Poland. Looking at the technical area as we watch on from our TalkSport studios in London, the action unfolding in Wrocław in southwest Poland. But Rob Page here has sent out a team who have arguably overperformed so far, and now they have a situation that, could they sit on this or could they go for the second goal?
Well, all in all, this performance, Nige, sums up what's going on in Wales. Our fans have turned up knowing they're going to see a B team playing. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's more and more football fans gathering for Wales games.
It's a football nation now, isn't it?
We've now just overtaken rugby as the number 1 sport, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I've been told that. For the first time ever, we've not that we...
In terms of participation, yeah.
And this performance shows the spirit that's in the camp and in the stands watching, and the country. You know, I just feel like we've got the momentum with us. You know, football slaps you in the face just when you think you cracked it, but it's a terrific performance, even if we don't win this game.
Changes being made by Poland, and it's Matthias Klich who is coming off, and Szymon Zarowski of Empoli in Italy is coming on to replace him in midfield, and Klich doesn't look too happy on his way off. And the other player coming on is Marcin Kaminski of Schalke.
Another good player.
Just waiting for confirmation. That's Goralski who has come off, so they've really changed up the midfield.
They just look short and flat, you know, they look as if, like, I hate to say it, but they look like they're on the beach.
Well, they've got Belgium and Holland to come as well in this international break, so they'll very quickly disavowed of that notion as Williams closes down on the edge of the penalty area. Glick plays it wide to the far side looking for Berezinski, and in the end Berezinski with a challenge on Matondo, and it's going to be a yellow card for Berezinski. Matondo's in some pain off the pitch, and Wales have a free kick wide on the left hand side, and that came from a lazy pass from Glick and a lazy challenge from Berezinski on Matondo.
It's a terrible challenge, and he's lucky to get away with a yellow card. He's half an hour late.
He just kicks him.
He just kicks him. It's a red card. For me, that is a red card. Obviously, when he slow it down, it looks worse. But he's half an hour late on the challenge. Matondo's facing the touchline, going nowhere. He's obviously lost his head because they're losing. And again, we've seen Dan James doing it for Leeds near the end of the season, lost his head. It's not the way to show it.
Nico Williams is now coming on for Wales to replace Wes Burns, who has had a debut to remember in so many ways, and he gets a great ovation from the Wales fans in Wrocław. Free kick here, which Dylan Levitt can whip in. Mepham and Norrington Davis are both forward. Harris, the striking height. It's in towards the near post, it's flicked away. Back towards Matondo, 30 yards out, a ball wide to this near side, and a good ball to find Smith. First time crossing is blocked at the near post by Berezinski, and it will be a throw into Wales by the corner flag. 61 minutes played on TalkSport 2, Poland 0, Wales 1. Don't forget the finalissima coming up on TalkSport, 7:45 kickoff, live from Wembley with Adrian Durham, Tony Cascarino and Jim Proudfoot. Italy against Argentina. Smith with another cross in, which is blocked this time by Kaminski.
Do you know this performance as well? When you have been with the squad, obviously as a player and a coach, you've got a group of players who never get a game, and they turn up for training every day, and they're trying their best to impress the manager in training because there's 20 odd of them, and only 11 get a shirt. This performance will encourage them players so much, because instead of just being passengers, they now feel part of everything. And if you want to put me on at any time, I can do a job.
And some of these players aren't even regulars for their clubs.
No, but they'll feel part of being. If we win this game now, getting on the plane on the way home, joining up, starting training, they'll all be running around thinking, I belong here and I want to be part of this, and I can't wait to get on the pitch. I know I can do it. I know I can do the job. It gives them confidence.
Mepham heads away on the far side. Mepham could be a potential starter for the game on Sunday. You would imagine that Ben Davis will come in as the left-sided central defender.
It looks like Roden, Mepham and Ben Davis.
Yeah.
But, there's 4 days to go.
Yes.
Got to be ready to step in. Someone gets injured the day before the game, switch on, get ready to step in.
Zorowski is looking to play the ball forward, but it's behind for a goal kick on the monitor. We're watching the Wales goal again. Johnny Williams was a long way out when he hit that right-footed, and it just spun up in front of Grabara. Right in the far corner. It was a tremendous shot. The second international goal, and at the moment Poland look bemused, and they've given away another free kick inside Polish territory. 64 minutes played, 1-0 to Wales in the opening match of the Nations League, and this competition, its third edition, could be starting with a real surprise if it stays like this. Poland, who've already qualified for the World Cup, against a Welsh team looking to play there for the first time since 1958. We'll find out on Sunday, we'll find out tonight who they'll be playing when Scotland play Ukraine. Levitt with the free kick high into the area, headed away by Grabowski, and now cleared away up to the halfway line by Zorowski, but Wales win it back. Here is Harris with a right foot shot, some way wide in the end, but again he was given the space to have a pop from the edge of the area.
Well, it was like Robbie Fowler-esque there, in no backlift. The ball just got poked through to him in the middle of the goal with his back to goal. He's just shifted it with one foot, no backlift, half volley, tried to cut across it, the outside of his foot, just wide.
And the clearance from Grabara, almost cut out by Harris, heads the ball up in the air, but as a result, it's a hurried Polish clearance. And now Gunter quickly put under pressure by Kaminski, all the way back to Hennessy, who has been on the field 20 minutes and had precisely nothing to do. Wales leading. Nico Williams, who had a fine second half of the season with Fulham, helped them to the Premier League, and it will be interesting to see where he ends up next season. There's a driving run forward from him, and he goes down under the challenge of Krakowiak, and again Rada Abramovich, the referee, waves away the appeals.
Get up, Nico, and sprint. Get back.
Zielinski forward towards Lewandowski, very deep again, and Puchaz down the left has support, but lofts a high cross into the penalty area beyond Lewandowski, and Williams, who had retreated, can bring the ball clear with 66 minutes played on TalkSport 2. Wales leading in Wrocław by a 1-0, and on the balance of play deservedly so, and they're looking for 10 matches unbeaten for only the second time in their history. But there's pressure here from Zorowski with the peroxide mop up towards the edge of the penalty area, then back towards Puchaz. Wales have recovered their defensive shape here with Williams retreating, and as a result the ball forward from Puchaz is cut out by Smith, and Smith quickly puts his hands to his head because he spotted the run of Harris, but the ball drifts straight out of play.
I had a flashback, Turkey away there. Matondo has got his back to goal on the left wing, ball rolled into his feet, straight ball up the channel, tries to let it run through his legs and spin and run after it. Centre back steps in front of him, plays it in the middle of the pitch, goal. I give the goal away, and he's done exactly the same thing. We got away with it.
Now Zielinski, that was the game when you lost 6-4.
Yeah, I give that goal away. I give it away, doing exactly what he tried to do, trying to let it run through my legs and spin. Alpay sticks his foot in, plays it in the middle of the pitch, and they scored. Hakan Super scored. I just had a flashback. So Matondo, he's got to keep hold of the ball. Hold it.
And that was a game back in the 1990s when Wales were leading at half-time and Bobby Gould chose to replace his goalkeeper, took off Paul Jones, and in the end Hakan Şükür scored a hat-trick and Wales lost 6-4. Now Zarowski coming forward for Poland, and we're beyond the midpoint of the second half. Wales still leading by a goal to nil, looking for their first ever victory on Polish soil. It's clipped in towards the penalty area and Kaminski, and he's challenged, and then Mepham is fouled inside the area by Kaminski as the ball spun behind it. Looked like it may have been a corner, and Lewandowski is complaining to the referee, but Kaminski did catch Mepham, and it's a correct decision.
Yeah, he's just got in behind the Wales defence, but Morel gets his toe there, pokes it away from him, and then Chris Mepham slashes through him and the ball. Referee's gone in our favour. So right now, Robert Page will be shouting on to Mark Harris and Matondo, don't give these any encouragement by giving the ball away cheaply in their half of the pitch. Play it simple, get you back to goal, show for it, lay it off the midfield play, spin.
An opportunity for Poland to break again, but Wales defensively, with the back three or the back five, have been much more secure in the second half. Brooks again waving his arms around as he doesn't get the decision, challenged by Gunter on the halfway line. And Wales have a throw-in, and we only have 21 minutes to play here on TalkSport 2. Poland 0, Wales 1 the scoreline, and Czesław Michniewicz, the Polish coach, is cutting a fairly disgruntled figure, arms folded on the edge of their technical area at the moment, as Wales win the ball back from Zielinski once again. Morel spreads it wide to the far side, and Nico Williams, he can look to attack the edge of the penalty area, but he shows too much of that to Zarowski. But Wales almost win it back, and now Berezinski's clearance is charged down by Williams. Williams back towards Matondo. They need to watch the offside here. Matondo just holds on to it, back again towards Morel, and now Matondo has come back from an offside position, and the flag has gone up.
I'm reluctant to say it, but Poland look a shambles to me. I mean, Zielinski, we've had nothing from him today, and again, he's still on the pitch. He's worth a lot of money, playing for a big club, produced nothing.
But it's in this sort of situation where the big players do look to produce, as Butsa loses out in the air to Norrington Davis, and Mepham goes down looking for the free kick, and the referee tells him to get up.
Yeah, he'd drive him mad, wouldn't he? Just goes to the ground every time the ball comes near him.
And he's studded shorts, doesn't he? Here is Smith, who's given the ball away to Kaminski down the Polish left. He's got support now from Butsa, who is onside, pulls it back looking for Lewandowski, and is cleared away as far as Zielinski. His shot there was blocked by the Wales goal scorer Williams. Now across him from Butsa, headed away by Mepham unchallenged. Harris losing out to Kaminski, and a long ball is played forward again, and Matondo is the only player forward.
Again, tiredness causes lack of concentration, which sometimes stops you doing the simple thing. You start making mistakes, and Wales have just started giving the ball away.
Poland with another ball towards the edge of the penalty area, and Mepham is able to clear, and Chris Mepham has had a fine game as well, and he's in the main managed to keep a check on Lewandowski, and as a result Lewandowski receives it now 10 yards inside the Wales half, wide towards Puchaz, and Puchaz has gone beyond Smith this time. Low cross into the near post, it's gathered by Kaminski. Kaminski with a shot, and he scored the equaliser, and Wales failed to close him down, and Marcin Kaminski has stepped off the bench to score his first international goal, arrowing the ball in low beyond an unsighted Wayne Hennessy. And with 18 minutes to play, it is Poland 1, Wales 1.
I mean, it looked no danger at one point. They're coming down the left-hand side, and I don't want to be hypercritical of him, but young Levitt, he's gone across to try and help, and he's left the middle of the pitch where the danger was. He's gone out there too early. There's a midfield player in the box. That's where he should have been, and he's had no option but to open his body out, and he's bent it round Chris Gunter, and Mepham could have got out to the ball a bit quicker, Morrell could have got to it a bit quicker, but there was no danger. Bit of lack of experience from Levitt.
Wales were ahead for 20 minutes, but now it may be a case of looking to hold on for a point.
You have to say it's a good finish. His execution, opened his body out, right foot, bent it round that Wayne Hennessy in the bottom corner. Well, it's the first thing they've done.
Change has been made in the aftermath of these celebrations. Karol Swiderski has come on to replace Adam Buksha. Swiderski, another MLS player, plays for Charlotte. Has 6 goals in 14 games. And he will play the final 17 minutes here. And Wales, who were looking fairly comfortable, have been pegged back, and now they're under pressure once again. Here is Lewandowski coming in field. He goes down under the challenge of Gunter. No free kick given. Kaminsky again, checking back onto the right foot. Low cross in is cut out by Gunter. Lewandowski. But it's good play by Nico Williams to win it back on the edge of the penalty area. Down the line for Matondo on the left. Matondo will try and go beyond Berezinski, who's on a yellow card, and Berezinski goes down in installments there. And he gets the free kick, but I don't think there was any touch.
He's dived.
Puchas has also been taken off, and Zaluski has also come on for Poland. Nikola Zaluski of Roma. He's one of their youngsters. This only his second cap. And they've now made 4 changes. Wales have also made 4, and there's a free kick given here.
Elbow.
Swiderski, the player who's gone down. Norrington Davis has been penalised, and Wales here just looking a bit ragged with 15 and a half minutes to play here. 1-1.
Well, you can't give the ball away, and I think we give it away 4 or 5 times there and give them a bit of encouragement. They couldn't create anything themselves, but if you give the ball away, your back 4's out of shape, your back 5's out of shape, and there's gaps to run into. Yeah, I think it's a yellow card. Seen red's given for that.
Norrington Davis did leap.
Yeah, he's got his elbow right in his face,
flailing.
So Poland right now have got the tails up from looking a shambles.
Don't forget the Finalissima coming up on TalkSport. The coverage begins when we're off the air at 7 o'clock. And the Argentina team is in. Messi is starting along with Di Maria. Dybala also playing as well. We'll bring you the Italian team when we have it, but with 14 minutes to play here on TalkSport 2. Swiderski challenging Norrington Davis. Both go down. The assistant on the far side has given the free kick to Wales, and there will be an opportunity just to calm things down.
Right, Robert Page on the side of the pitch now. He's shouting on. I think he'd be shouting at, he looks like he's telling Morrell and Levitt to just hold their ground. He's bringing on Thomas.
Sorba Thomas is coming on to replace Johnny Williams, the goal scorer. Williams scoring a tremendous goal for Wales. We welcome listeners to TalkSport, and we have 13 minutes to play. It is Poland 1, Wales 1. Johnny Williams, who is just being replaced by Sorba Thomas, scoring an outstanding goal for Wales, a shot from long range. But the Poles have just equalised. Marcin Kaminsky with a low right-footed shot from inside the penalty area after Wales failed to close him down. Dean Saunders is alongside me. So many pluses for Wales, but now it's important they hold on for this draw.
Yeah, a draw's a great result with our B team out, more or less. A lot of young lads out there playing against world-class players. They've held their own. In fact, we've been the better team, being honest. At some point, one of them world-class players has to do something, and they found a goal from nowhere.
Matondo coming forward now for Wales, back towards Levitt. Matondo came on at half-time and helped to set up the goal for Williams. Matty Smith now on this near side, back towards Gunter, and now Levitt, and Wales trying to just regroup and spend some time on the ball. Nico Williams, who's also come on recently, down the left. looking to attack the penalty area. Back towards Sorba Thomas. Right foot shot from him is blocked and it spins away. And Poland will have the opportunity to break now with their goal scorer Kaminski, but he's challenged by Levitt. And Smith now will play it long forward down the line again, and Poland will clear. Intriguing finishing prospect here over on TalkSport 2 with 12 minutes to play. It is Poland 1, Wales 1. And Matondo has done well to win it back now. Inside the penalty area, right hand side, pulls it back, blocked by Glick, and it will spin behind for a Wales corner.
Well, Matondo's causing them all sorts of problems. Every time he gets the ball and starts dribbling with it, they can't get near him. Again, he's driven into their box on the right side, got to the byline, tried to pick somebody out across the face. Good challenge. Cuts it out, corner to Wales.
12 minutes to play. Matondo on his haunches. Player came on at half-time, but he's eaten up plenty of ground, and Sorba Thomas, less than a week after the big disappointment with Huddersfield, takes the corner into the near post, headed away, and in the end a free kick is given. Zarowski is down, clutching his face, and Poland will have the opportunity to rebuild. It was Chris Mepham who was penalised. And it's interesting that Brennan Johnson's been given time off after his team won the playoff, but Sorba Thomas is here, and maybe it's good for him to try and get that disappointment out of his system.
Yeah, and he will do. He's playing for Wales. Big game. It's not friendly. He's had a good season. Another player with a load of pace. Good delivery into the box. We've got some promising youngsters, so when Bale and Ramsey do retire, and Joe Allen, we have got players who can step into their shoes. You'll never get as good as obviously Bale and Ramsey, but we're only a small nation, and I think we're doing quite well for the size of us.
Well, Brennan Johnson could be that generational talent that Wales will be looking for when Ramsey and Bale retire. At 21 years of age, he's further on in his development than Bale was. Of course, Ramsey got into the side and got into the Premier League at a much younger age.
Yeah.
And he will be in the Premier League next season with Nottingham Forest. Should be fascinating to see how he gets on. Here is Chris Gunter, a player at the other end of his career, finding Levitt and Morel. Kamil Grzycki, the former Hull and West Brom player, will be coming on for Poland shortly. That will be their final change. Williams finding Thomas. Plenty of pace for Wales now down the left-hand side. Back towards Williams again. He strides in field. Right foot shot from him. Wasn't too far away.
Well, as you see, Nico Williams, on a number of occasions, he cuts in from the left on his right foot, and he will pull the trigger, and he did then. He sliced across it. It's gone high and wide, but I've seen him score one of them for Wales. Top corner.
Gregor Krakowiak is coming off to be replaced by Kamil Grzycki. So it's an attacking change. The holding midfielder replaced by a winger. Grzycki winning his 85th cap. Now 33 years of age.
Another good player.
They've got a lot of depth, and in the group they've got in the World Cup, Poland, Mexico, Saudi Arabia and Argentina, they will have eyes on second place at least.
Well, maybe that explains this performance. They've got their eyes somewhere else.
But I'm sure the coach will be looking for players to put their hands up before the World Cup, and you know that Lewandowski will be playing, and Krakowiak will be playing, and Szczesny will probably come back in, but there are always positions on a field, and things always happen, as you say, injuries and suspensions and anything else before a World Cup, particularly a World Cup played so early in the season.
Yeah, and I mean, our goal, I've never seen Bednarak do that for Southampton. He just stood there as if to say, go on, shoot, to Johnny Williams. Never closed the ball down. Click, another one. Normally, they just stood there as if they don't want to get hit with the ball.
Now Zalewski coming forward, finding Kaminski. 9 minutes to play. 1-1 the scoreline on TalkSport 2. And Wales do not deserve to lose this game, but they're hanging on at times, and Poland looking for the winning goal. Zielinski strikes it, claimed well by Hennessy, and he used every single inch he had there to gather the ball under the crossbar.
Yeah, I mean, Zielinski's sliced it. It was like a half volley with his left foot, and he sort of sliced it, gets a deflection off Levitt, and it looks like it's going to loop over a normal goalkeeper, but Wayne Hennessey's about 9'8". Just reaches up and grabs it like a basketball player.
Now Thomas finding Matondo down the left-hand side for Wales. Breaks into the penalty area. Harris was waiting. Matondo looking to tease Grzycki and then go beyond him. Matondo continues to the byline, pulls it back. It seemed to have gone behind. It had, and it's a goal kick.
Well, Matondo, he looks as if he's about to get a penalty out of someone, or he's nearly created a load of opportunities.
He is a very handy option to have off the bench when Wales play their first choice team, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think every club and every supporters watch the club where they have a winger who comes on who looks like he's going to set the world alight.
Only 21 as well.
Yeah.
Of course, he's outside the UK, so he's maybe off the radar for a good deal of the time, but he's clearly very well thought of by those in the Welsh camp.
Schalke, he's out.
Schalke, but he's been out on loan in Belgian football this season, of course. Schalke now in the second division in Germany.
It's a crisis, that. Massive. Well, getting relegated.
Well, and Hamburg, and they're not coming back in the short term. Zielinski lofts it wide towards the far side, but it's cut out by Williams, but his first touch has given the ball away, and tumbling into the challenge was Zarowski, but no free kick given. Again, the referee believed it was a dive. Wales play it long, and Grabara, some way outside his penalty area, will pick the ball up, and I think there that Zarowski was caught, but the referee has made one or two strange decisions.
I thought it was a foul. Morella's a bit late, but we can see the difference now. Dan James and Kiefer Moore have gone off. All of a sudden, that little ball down the sides of their defenders, which Dan James and Kiefer Moore were spinning onto, we're not getting anywhere near it now, so we can't get up the pitch.
Now Kaminski down the left, finding Lewandowski. Shot from him is blocked by Gunter, and it's turned in. And Poland have what's surely the winning goal. And it's Swiderski who has scored it from close range with 5 minutes to play. Lewandowski was denied, but the ball spun into the path of Swiderski, and he helped the ball in from a couple of yards out. And having led in the game and played so well for long spells, Wales now look to be falling to defeat. It is Poland 2, Wales 1.
Well, it's like a calamity goal. I'm hoping there's a VAR decision on it, but
potentially for offside.
Maybe. I mean, Chris Gunter gets out to Lewandowski. He's onside.
He's onside, yeah.
The goal scorer. It comes off Norrington Davis's heel. It hits Mepham or Gunter. It then comes off Norrington Davis, and it goes right in his path, and he's mishit it, and the ball just floated over Wayne Hennessey's body as he's dived, and he's lucky it's gone under the crossbar and just over the line. Chris Mepham's tried to clear off the line. He's hit it underneath the crossbar. It's a calamity goal, and undeserved, but we're 2-1 down with 5 minutes to go.
And it's a harsh lesson for Wales. Having led, they now trail, and it's the players who have come off the bench who have made the difference for Poland. Kaminski and Swiderski.
Swiderski has done well since he's come on, and I mean, if you run into the box, if you keep running into the box, Frank Lampard done it, Steven Gerrard done it, if you keep running in there, the ball does break in your path sometimes, and it did for him there. Lewandowski tried to open his body out and bend it in the far corner. It's Gunter. He's running in there, and the ball just drops in his path. It's not luck.
Lewandowski given a sight of goal, didn't score himself, but as a result of his shot, Poland do have the lead. Do Wales have a response so late in the game? Their wait for a victory against Poland looks set to continue and heading towards a 50th year.
Again, Nigel, for me, this is a good performance. I know we've got beat. It's a good performance against a really good team who've already qualified for the World Cup with some world-class players, and world-class players coming off the bench. We've been the better team. What have they had? 2 chances, 3 chances? Scored 2 of them.
And both of the goals, as Lewandowski heads on, but it's claimed by Hennessey inside the area. From a defensive point of view, you can always pick holes in goals, I suppose, but they've come down this near side, the left, and that they've both been untidy from a Welsh point of view. Now Harris on the chase, on this near side, gathers the ball by the corner flag, turns and looks for support, back again towards Morel, and Matondo takes over, just about keeps the ball in play, but Swiderski will try and bring the ball away, and the referee has actually penalised Swiderski for a shirt pull, and Wales have a free kick with 2 minutes to play, trailing by 2-1 on TalkSport 2.
It's a chance to get 6 players in their box now. Good delivery, just short of the goalkeeper. It needs just floating across the D. We've played it short though.
Here is Levitt. And Poland, of course, pulling everybody back now. And Morel has been clipped by Zielinski, and it will be a free kick. And we are inside the final 2 minutes.
I think the referee's done quite well. I think he's had a decent game. He's not been biased either way. I think he's done well.
Williams now coming forward for Wales, at pace into the penalty area, and he's still going back towards Thomas, and now Smith, and it's Chris Gunter who drives it, almost falls for Harris, who may have been offside. He miscontrols anyway, and it's a free kick given to Poland.
Harris is just trying to get back onside. He's offside. He's 3 yards offside. Chris Gunter has had a chance to score there. It's come to him, it's right in the middle of his feet, 25 yards out, and he's tried to hit across it, a bit like Johnny Williams' chance, and he shanked it at Harris, but he's offside. Miscontrolled it, but he's offside.
Into the 90th minute. Poland leading by 2-1. 2 goals in the final 18 minutes after Johnny Williams gave Wales the lead. And Nico Williams looking to chase a long ball forward on the far side, but it's beyond him and out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Poland. And the bigger picture, of course, is Sunday and that playoff game. But there will be disappointment if Wales fall to defeat here in a game in which they've led. Their 10-match unbeaten run will come to an end, and from the point of view of results, they've lost momentum, but in terms of performance, they have things they can take into Sunday as a group.
Yeah, I think it's given us confidence, because you're looking at lads there, we're playing the same system, so you can imagine if you had to bring Norrington Davis on, he knows what to do. You know, Burns, left wing back, you know what to do. When it counts on Sunday, we've not qualified since 1958. It's the biggest game in our history, I would say, seeing as the World Cup's the biggest tournament.
Here is Harris, back towards Matondo. The crossing is flicked on by Smith and onto the roof of the netting, and a corner kick is being given, and we are into 3 added minutes, which will start with a Welsh corner.
So unlucky. Harris gets down the sides, lays it back to Matondo, and Smith, it looks like it's going in. Defender hits the top of the defender's head, goes over the bar.
Sorba Thomas will take the corner in front of the Wales fans on the far side. And it's a good delivery. The goalkeeper has poured at it, and it's Smith who drives it in, and it's over the top, and that was the opportunity for Matthew Smith.
What a chance. It's an in-swinging corner. The keeper's flapped at it, helps it on its way out the back. It drops to Smith. He's got a side volley, one bounce, side volley, slices it over the bar. All he's got to do is keep it down, it's in.
The Italy team for the finalissima, live on TalkSport, is in. Donnarumma, Di Lorenzo, Bonucci, Chiellini and Emerson, Pessina, Jorginho and Barella, Bernardeschi, Belotti and Raspadori. Dean will be on the sports bar over on TalkSport from 10 o'clock tonight, looking back on that game. Now Matondo coming forward again for Wales, chinking into the penalty area, but he's closed down as he looked to shoot. Morel, 25 yards out, a high cross in over the head of Harris, headed clear as far as Sorba Thomas. Back again to Nico Williams, who maybe thought about the shot, but it was firmly struck to him. But Williams will find Thomas again now, down the Wales left-hand side, on the far side. Thomas with the delivery, headed away by Glick. It'll drop to Morel, who brings it down. It's popped up into the area, something of nothing really, into the arms of Grabara.
Well, it's a chance for Morel again. He's got a volley it for me.
Poland looking to break to finish things off here. 50 seconds of added time to play. It is Zielinski Wide towards this near side. And Kaminski once again. And the changes have really made the difference for Poland, it must be said, during this game. Zalewski is also involved, and their ambition now is indicated by the fact he heads to the corner flag. Then he delivers a cross in, which is cut out by Meppen, played long downfield. Headed down for Lewandowski, and Poland here can just play out time at the end of this game. And it's a match in which they've only led very late on, but they have done the job, and that is all that matters from their point of view. The referee blows the full-time whistle, and Wales' 9-match unbeaten run comes to an end. Of course, all eyes now focus on the big game coming up on Sunday, as Wales will look to reach their first World Cup since 1958. And a team containing so many fringe players played so well here, took the lead through Johnny Williams, but in the end they have fallen to defeat in the closing stages, and Poland have won by 2-1.